Blamo.
Kablam.
Kablam, we're here.
What's up,
back.
fellas? We're back. Oh my God, he's back again. Hell yeah, fellas. How we doing? It's Whatchu Spinnin episode 74. We're here back at Whatchu Spinnin headquarters, coming at you live from the 2 p.m. traffic report. It's we're gonna do that bit every time. Fuck yeah. I love it. I love it. I was hoping someone would do it. Vulcan Mind Meld with my boy Matt. How are you doing?
Breaking news. Going to see Billy Woods and Kenny Siegel pretty soon, thanks to my buddy Jake over here getting us tickets yesterday. So, yeah, jealous. Hell yeah. Playing in Portland.
It's
Get
that time.
while you can.
Yeah.
Best news of the year right there.
Mm-hmm. So far, I would say.
So far.
Oh, yeah.
Just new news. But there's been a lot of news. Everybody's been doing lots of things. You took off to an amazing adventure that you should tell us about.
Yeah, let's get that out of the way. I went to Beyond Wonderland up at the Gowage in George, Washington. First off, before we do that, how are you, Jake? I realized we didn't ask how you're doing. You doing good?
Swell. Yeah,
yeah,
we're good.
Great.
Dude, the Gorge, though, what a spot.
What a spot. My first time up there.
What a venue.
My first time out there. First time at Beyond Wonderland, a rave, anything like that. I went to Oregon Jamboree last year, but that was like weird. I don't know. For some reason I don't count that because this was much more.
Was that more like jam band music or?
No, it was like country. They call it the
Gotcha.
Jamboree.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but it was like that's where I saw Skinnerd and stuff. That was last year, and then this was a whole fucking beast in and of itself. You know, because we rolled in all like caravan style. You know, I was like there. We went through like legit security. It was just a much bigger scale event than anything I'd ever been to.
Like all weekend, huh?
All weekend, yeah. There was a pre-party on Friday, but camping opened up like Thursday night, so people were already like well established. We were like the first people, the first group. It was us and Krista and a couple of her friends and me and my girlfriend, and we were the first people to get to like this massive extended area of camp. And so we just watched it fill in almost. We were like, our car was like right on the road. So there was a fence, but like other than that, we were surrounded on three sides and we just watched it over the day fill up around us. It was fucking wild.
That's cool. Perfect timing for you guys.
Yeah. Yeah. So like we were managed, like it was like no muss, no fuss. Left here before 4 a.m. and then we were all set up at camp by 12:30. Like I texted y'all guys before that. But yeah, wild. Didn't go to the pre-party on Friday because we just kind of wanted to chill out. And then Saturday went in and kind of mainly stayed over at the house stage. Max Styler fucking rules. He's like, I texted you guys, like, I was like, this guy's like diet anema because he's like more house leaning. He's like a little bit away from the trancey side, and I had just heard of him, so that was cool. I was telling Matt, I was like, there's guys that I didn't think would have good sets that absolutely fucking murdered, or I was like kind of on the fence, you know. Dylan Francis, I was like, oh, I'll go see him because, you know, I've liked some of his stuff, but I was like, holy shit, he just murdered like right before Rez. I was like,
nice.
I was like, God damn. I was like, Rez has to like come like follow up after that. I was like, Jesus Christ. Or no, there was an act in between, but still, it was like he blew the house off, you know. So that was sick. Side piece closed out. It's like a house duo. I can't remember who it is, but they closed the house stage on Friday or Saturday night. Insane. Like best set of the night. Of the Trees did like a bass cannon remix. My girlfriend has a video of me, or I have it on my phone, and I have a giant Bud Light in my hand. Let's just say it was not my first, and I am just going nuts. It's fucking sick.
I gotta see that now.
This Bud's for you.
Yeah, exactly. It was just a blast all around.
Nice.
Honestly, as much as I would love to say that seeing Shaquille O'Neal do a DJ set was awesome.
That's right. I forgot that was happening. How was it? Did you actually watch it? Did you see it?
Did
he kill?
So
No.
there was this one stage. There was they did it really cool. There was like the main stage, which kind of rotated EDM styles, but then there was one that was like the bassy stuff, like crazy dubstep was like played on this, and then there was the house stage. set up wonderfully. It was fucking gorgeous. They do a really good job out there, but the base stage like just kept having sound issues. Like the first act that we saw jump on stage when we were there, the first on Saturday night, the decks just like weren't working. So he's up there and it's like not working. And they cut out like several times throughout the weekend, come to find out. And, you know, we go see Rez, which was fucking phenomenal. Everything I could ever dreamed of. Shout out, Hanging Above Me. New album. She's touring that stuff right now, which she says is like her darkest shit she's ever done. And it's true.
Okay. Oh, shit.
So I'll throw in a clip right about now of just a clip from the show because it's just the stage show is immaculate.
I bet.
It's incredible. But so Rez played, and then right after that, Diesel was taking the stage, like right off the main stage. So we're like, okay, cool. We go there, and I mean, I love him to death. You know, shout out, great player, but he couldn't spell DJ if you gave him half the letters. Man. Like it is because he comes up and like hits the one button you're not supposed to press apparently because it like he's just like yelling into the microphone, open this shit up, and it sounds like somebody's playing it off of their cell phone. And then someone comes up and like does like this, and it's just like just like it's like there's no build up, and so it's just the sound comes on in the middle of a drop, and it's just but like I got like a video of like when he actually managed to get shit going, but reading it every 10 minutes his shit was cutting out.
Oh, that's too bad.
So they were like, even if you liked that kind of stuff, it was a nightmare. And it just started off and fumbled so hard, and that was the end of the night when I was freezing my ass off. So and I was like, god damn it, but it was cool. He was like, what's up, y'all in Wonderland? I canceled on y'all last year, but I'm back, baby. Let's open this shit up. All right, motherfuckers. And I'm like, it's fucking Shaquille O'Neal. I was losing my fucking mind.
No, we're going to win a championship. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, it's the Diesel.
That's so funny.
So that was what both of our camps, this is like all we kept talking about was, I was like, I could maybe vibe with that music for a song and a half. I was like, I'm going so that way I can tell friends and like people I know, be like, yeah, I saw Shaq do a DJ set when I was, you know, so he kind of fumbled the bag, but it was still hilarious. Like I got the experience, and I was like, man, if only it would have been, if only that wouldn't have happened. But it was still hilarious. I got my video, got my picture. Dude.
Shaq, man.
Yeah,
that's funny.
But yeah, seeing Rez was like everybody. I was like, man, not ending the weekend with her was unfair to people that like the other sets afterward, because she just tore it the fuck down. So that was incredible. A guy you guys should check out, because it's if Freddie Gibbs dealt Molly instead of cocaine, because he looks exactly like Freddie Gibbs. Gene Ferris opened his setup. Felix, hey. Thank you. Gene Ferris opened his setup with like a Steely Dan Do It Again house remix.
Oh, nice.
And then he did...
Oh, yeah, I remember you sent that, yeah.
Yeah, he did Can't Tell Me Nothing by like just some crazy good like house flips of like great songs. And his like backstage setup was like actually kind of... It was like very creepy. Like the screen and stuff was like kind of eerie for like house music. And I was like, this guy fucking rules. He's like nice. Spooky for some reason, but the music's not. Gene Ferris, he's pretty cool. I have a couple videos I'll show you. But nice. Yeah, some guys I was telling you went there being like, oh, this would be cool to see this person. And I was like, god damn, I got to check out more of this guy's shit, you know? So shout out Beyond Wonderland. Great time.
It's cool. You can find different people and be like, I would have never, ever done this or found this artist.
Yeah.
Here they are.
There's a chick, Nostalgics, who's like, does house stuff too. And we like walked by her set because we were on our way to go see somebody else. But we like stopped for a second. I was like, god damn, she killed. Never would have heard of her, you know? She looks like, she had like pink hair, like looked like a skate chick. And I was like, but she just threw down like crazy bass house. I was like, fuck yeah. I was like, all right.
Nice, rock and roll.
How were the light shows?
Oh, incredible. Incredible. Yeah. We went to Boogie T was right before Rez. And he's like crazy. He was on that bass stage. I call him like he has a jam band is his other thing he does. So if you can imagine if somebody that was in a jam band made like dubstep and was like jungly.
Okay.
Yeah. He looks like me if I went and lived in the woods for like 6 years and came back. Like he's like crazy bearded, long hair, like what's up? Like he murdered. Yeah. So I like knew one song of his. I was like, oh, I'll go see him. I like this one song, and I was like, I gotta listen to this guy a lot more.
Nice. Dude, that's awesome. I'm so excited for all the shows this summer.
Oh yeah, you're gonna see Krongbin like next month.
Yeah. I actually saw, speaking of, in Bend at Hayden, they're gonna have Anderson .Paak there with Free Nationals and
cool.
Oh, wow.
someone else. I forget who, but
Damn.
yeah, it's like in September, I think, or August.
God damn.
But it's like on a Wednesday. It's like,
Damn these weekday concerts.
I know.
I know they got to work, but damn it.
I know.
So do we.
So do we. We all can't just helicopter in.
Yeah.
Well, we could.
We could.
Maybe those guys.
Hell yeah. But yeah, thanks for letting me take the stage and talk about that a little bit. It was quite an experience. And I get to go see Rez again in like 2 months.
Yeah.
So
We're all
nice.
going to a lot of you. We're going to some concerts besides the Billy Woods. We're going to go see Peter
Cat, thank you for that.
Yeah. And anybody else we can find.
Rat-a-tat-tat.
Rat-a-tat-tat.
Yeah. I wish the scheduling was just a little bit better. I didn't lose my job. I would have made Lamb of God happen for us. That would have been fun.
Yeah, I was looking at tickets. I almost did it for us. I was like,
Yeah.
I want to get better seats.
Yeah. There's one. Son of a bitch. I was looking at Korn. I was looking at Korn and Gojira tickets actually.
Forgot about that.
Those are
concert.
not bad.
Yeah.
Like
Is that at the Moda as well, or somewhere else? Gotta be there.
yes. If not, it's like the one that's like sub, like not it. But yeah, they're like $45 for like not bad seats. Like basically where we were for Tool, like
Okay.
that kind of level seeming. But yeah,
That could be a
that's not
fun
bad.
show.
to look into that.
Yeah.
My buddy Cody, shout out, saw Korn last year and said he's like,
Still got it.
dude, he's like they fucking tore the house down. Like, fuck yeah. Do we want to get into some questiones?
Questions. We like to talk about music and share our thoughts, whether you like it or not. I hope you like it.
We hope you like
You're
it.
watching, so you like something. It's probably the beard on this guy.
Hell yeah. We're gonna go. We like going in order of that. We talk in a certain order, so we like to follow that, which means that I'm going first. I know. I get tired of talking. I get tired of hearing myself talk.
Shut up, dude.
I skip past myself so much when I edit. So I'm like, I already know what I'm saying.
I do that too.
So my question for y'all is, and this is one I'm still like game time decision.
It's tough. All these questions can be, thought about for a long time and answered with different answers.
Like last time, I changed my answer on the spot. But mine for this week is, what has been your best find in collecting so far? Like your white whale that you're like, holy fuck, like how did I get that? I've been wanting that for years, or even if it's like not something crazy rare that you're just like, I fucking love this album. I will die, whatever. And I'm so stoked I have it. So it open to interpretation, however you would like. You could answer it 2 ways if you want. You can give two
I
answers.
know, this is a tough one. I had to think about my answer, and I brought mine just to have it with me, and I brought a couple because I was like, which album means the most to me in a sense?
Right.
Is it one that I've played many times? Is it one that I haven't opened yet? And why is that? So for me, it's going to be just because it's a different edition of this album, but it's Sleep Token. Take Me Back to Eden, the gold edition, which I have not opened. Probably won't. And I just remember the hype around this album coming out. You remember it coming out? And
I almost put that up instead of Idols for you.
that would have been
actually.
hilarious. And so I think just having that and kind of being like, this kind of got me back into that genre too, a little bit more.
Yeah.
And so that's my whale.
Hell yeah.
Great album. Check it out. Dorian brought it up. Because
great
he
album.
brought it up first because he's a jerk.
It's so fucking good. I thought about this a little bit, but I mean, there's just so many, man. So many. Like, one, not only that I see in person that I'm like, wow, and I pick it up and it's like a find, but at the same time, like, just stuff that you can find, like a new release that they just pressed, or like something off a website that, like, you can't find in stores. But I'm looking through my collection right now. Probably the one that really just remembered is The Universe Smiles Upon You. Like when I found that in person,
yeah.
that like started my like hobby as collecting and like listening to like vinyl. Because I like just went into a house and I was like, let's just see if I can find anything, and saw that, picked it up, and it like just opened up my love for like, you know, digital and physical media. So that.
Did you buy it based off the cover of the album, or
No, I had like I already heard
Okay.
Krongbin.
Okay.
But even still, like, just finding that for me for starting off was like monumental for me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Kind of like I have my copy of Mad Villainy that I've had for almost 10 years at this point. And it's the same reason that I'm like, that's one of my favorites. It's not my answer. I'm just relating. But yeah, so I definitely feel that you're like, damn, this is one of the first ones. Like, nothing can ever like.
I like
never
the Special Herbs too. That one.
Oh
like,
yeah. That was almost my answer. But I have a completely different. Allow me. Sorry, I didn't think to have this prepped. Matt showed me up.
I showed you up.
Matt was like, "Hey, young blood, watch this."
Ooh.
Mine's one that I heard this album when I was super young. We've talked about it, episode 47. One of the best episodes of our podcast ever,
And one of the best album covers on our podcast.
Oh yeah, it's. I think if there were somehow a scoreboard behind me of which album has been on the wall the most, this would probably be it, because I'm obsessed with this album cover. But yeah, A Sense of Purpose by In Flames. When I got this about 2.5 years ago, 3 almost, I had just fallen back in love with this album, and actually heard it for the first time. I feel like because I listened to it when I was a youngster, when I was like 13, 14, and I was like, just hell yeah, it's aggressive. And then I was listening, I really listened to it in everything that it was, and I was like, god damn. And it was like my first big, like, I had been hunting this down on Discogs, and like I was watching it like I was watching my stock market, like my personal stocks, dude. I was like, all right, and it's dipped. Boys, we're below 65. Hit. And I just was like, boom. Like, the first time I saw it, I paid like $63.50 for it. Like, I was like, as soon as I saw it dip below 70 or 65 or something, I was like, get it. And it was like the best, because the ones people were selling like really bad. Like, they were even admitting like it's not in great condition, but I'll take $100 for it. I was like, yeah. And so I was like, this is insane. And so yeah, I'd say probably A Sense of Purpose, because it's fantastic, and I've spun it a lot. I was surprised last year that it didn't end up on my Spotify Wrapped, because I listened to it a fuck ton last year on Spotify. But that's just the algorithm, baby. And plus, I listened to The Summoning 173 times. So
there you go.
Yeah.
That's my answer. Matt, you are next on the question board.
And this is open into interpretation, however you want to take that. But more or less, how does a song, melody or lyric, trigger certain memories or make you feel a certain way, whether it be a time in your life or right now at this moment? For me, a few different bands, but going back to high school and growing up with the different bands I listened to in high school, there was always one band that I could kind of gravitate towards, and that's because they were from Eugene. But Floater, man, they've always been a part of my life ever since high school, and they've never left. Like, I've never just not listened to Floater, whether it's a song or two here and there.
We listened to Floater before Jake got here.
Yeah.
That's like how it's like, I feel that.
It's the one band that I know most of the song lyrics to, and that I can not relate to them, because I don't know what Rob's talking about, or Dave, or whoever wrote the song that I'm listening to, but they all resonate, and it just feels like it's written for me. And the days go by, the nights all feel the same on Endless. Growing up listening to that, going to high school, it felt like that a lot of times, because we weren't doing shit on the weekends, and it just felt the same.
Yeah.
So my friends and I could kind of relate to that in a sense. So anytime I hear Floater, it always brings me back to that time of my life, or introducing the Floater to somebody else that I met in California, or someone that I'd never heard of them before.
Hearing that's like one thing I'll say about like the Floater fandom and everything, is I resonate 100% with everything you just said. But it's like introducing somebody to Floater, or finding a random Floater fan, like you're just talking to someone and you're like, oh, they probably have no idea because they're from fucking Idaho or some shit, and they're like, oh yeah, I fucking saw them back in like 05 or something. And it's like, Okay, so you fucking get it. Like you're automatically like it's there's like a weird thing like with floater fans that it's like once you kind of agree on that, you're like you're actually kind of a tight dude, you know?
Yep.
Like I've had like a bad experience at a floater show and the guy was just being a shitbird and I could tell that he didn't mean any harm, but he was being a dickhead. I was 17. He could have gone to jail.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that.
Yeah, that's
Fuck
mine.
yeah.
That's mine.
Nice. I can go.
Okay.
Mine probably, honestly, especially when I was like in high school and I was like smoking a lot, listening to hip hop. I'd say it was A Good Day, Ice Cube. Like that song, like every time that we'd smoke, every like other time we'd smoke, we'd like listen to it at some point. Like either at the beginning of the session, on our way home, whatever. Just like, you know,
That
pretty chill.
sample.
That sample too, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That sample's so good.
Hell yeah. I like that. That is such a that's such a classic story too. Like, yeah, when I was in high school, started smoking weed, listened to this,
Yeah.
to that, I was like, yep, that is 100%. Yeah, it's like, oh, what did I do the first time I did mushrooms? Watched Mac and Devin go to high school and listen to, you know. Like,
I think I tried to watch The Wall. That didn't work. Nope.
Oh, I was digging through some boxes this week and I found the copy of The Wall and I was like,
Like a VHS copy or
no,
a DVD?
the one that we watched.
Oh,
Every time I see it or like pull the record out, I'm always like the lost tapes. They're still there.
The lost tapes.
Because I clear out my thing. I clear out the files are always
Nice.
right there next to it. And I'm like, nah, someday.
We were
I'm just gonna
fucked
keep
up.
mentioning it on the pod too. But yeah, my little melody riff thing would be it's like the second half of Question Mark by MF Doom off of Operation Doomsday. Where because it's got it's my favorite song that he's ever done. The beat is just I'm getting fucking goosebumps talking about it. I don't know why. I'm obsessed with this fucking song. But it's just this great ding 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 ding. And it like changes a little bit. Like I don't know, it like shifts in tone a little bit. And then he has this line, by candlelight, my hand will write these rhymes until I'm burnt out. And I'm just like, I
love that.
Yeah. I fucking get goosebumps, get choked up anytime I fucking say it, hear it, or anything. It's just, I don't know why, but it's just like, it helps keep me going. Like, it's just like inspiring. Because that song's about his brother, you know? That song's about his brother that died walking across a highway, you know? And so, just like that backstory and everything. And then he's like, fuck it. Like, no matter what happens in life, I'm just going to keep going. You know, fuck it. I'm going to keep going until I die. And so, yeah, that shit still to this day. I'm just like, fuck yeah, Doom. Hell yeah, baby.
That's such a Doom move.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Such a Doom move.
Right? It's like, fuck. And to the fact that was off of his first album, like that's why I love Operation Doomsday.
Doomsday's so good.
Because it's just a nuts debut. And that to have that impactful of a lyric, I was just like, and I was obsessed with that album when I was like 19, 20 years old. So
Someday we'll bring up food.
oh yeah.
Yeah, more because he's been growing on me for the last few months. I think besides Billy Woods, that's been the best introduction to what I've had, and I've grown to love Doom so much more now. It's ridiculous that I hadn't before.
I was thinking of this question and I didn't decide it until like right before you guys got here, but I was like in the shower and listened to a couple Doom songs, and by the time I was making the decision, everything that I was going to choose from was something related to MF Doom. I was like, oh, the bass line from Accordion. I was like, like whatever. But fuck yeah, I love that question. And then Jakaroo.
Yeah. So, question for y'all's: what's your favorite show or concert you've been to, and why?
Tough call.
I'll let you go since I just talked about shows for a while.
Okay. I had to think about this one because I'm like, oh, there's this one because, and I'm like, nope. But it was the same artist, or just in a different shape or form. And this would have been when I saw A Perfect Circle at the Arlene Schnitzer Concert Hall in Portland.
Mm-hmm. What year was that?
It was probably 2010.
What, 16?
No, it was
10.
2010 maybe-ish. It was their first tour in a while. Original lineup.
Mm-hmm.
It was the first stop on that tour. Because Maynard started off the song, and they started off with the album In Motion, and that's that first track on that song or that album. It's kind of slower.
Mm-hmm.
Like 3 seconds into it, he fucked up. He's like, "Stop, everybody, stop! We're starting over." It was hilarious. He's like, "Sorry, guys."
That's fucking awesome.
They went right back into it and killed it. But the opener for the band was a all-girl Japanese band
Oh hell yeah.
called Red Bacteria Vacuum.
Oh, fuck.
Oh,
That sounds tight.
They
Right back
didn't
to you,
sing in
back to you.
English, but they sounded like Iron Maiden, just fucking thrashing. And I remember buying the CD after the show and just being like, "This is fucking rad."
That's
so
awesome.
having those two there, and then
That's
having
cool.
Maynard be human on stage like we all are, and make a mistake, and then just be sorry, get right back into it. I'll just always remember that. I was with my little brother Chris, and then my buddy Oldie. That was one of the last shows we went to. So I think all those kind of
Right.
circulate to make it one of the best shows. It was really fun.
Hell yeah. That's fucking awesome.
that's fucking wild.
And that is, I remember,
cool.
I love every time you tell that story. It just makes me laugh. I'm like, I can just imagine, like, just stop, because especially after like seeing Tool and stuff, I'm like, I can't imagine, but like, I'm like, God damn it, that's too funny. I love that. And Arlene Schnitzer, I do love that venue
It's
too.
a great venue for
great.
any band.
That's where I met
I
Sammy.
wonder if that's where Korn and Gojira are playing. If that's the other venue, that seems
I
too
wanna
small for them. But
It does. I'm like I'm wondering if maybe I'm trying to make it not the Moda Center in my head, so that way tickets are. That's why tickets are cheap. I'm like, I swear to God, they're not
it
nosebleeds.
could be a different venue though.
Yeah. Mine would probably have to be. I mean, provided what I just went through last weekend was fucking top notch, incredible. I would have to say, and again, got to shout out friend of the show, Alex. Actually, this is a story with him. We went, I think this was 2017, 2016. We went up to Portland to go see Vince Staples in concert. I can't remember who opened for him, but we drive up, and we're like, all right, we're going to park the car and then go to Chipotle. And we're there, and we, the whole drive up, I have a nectar collector, so things got out of hand in a parking garage. I was already, he's like, I was being the best radio DJ of all time because I was just solo dolo over there, bop, 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 bop. And then, we wreaked havoc on a, like a, whatever, gram and a half of dabs in a parking garage, and then went to Chipotle, and then immediately got lost. And don't know why, like, neither of our phones were charged, really. I was on, like, 3%, and so we decided to call his roommate and our buddy at the time, Patrick, the guy who I went to go, when we go, who I saw play at that weird little art gallery, my folk punk homie. They were living together at the time. We called him, and he's watching. We're like, Patrick, freaking out, because we have gone in circles around like the not great part of Portland. Like,
There's a few of those places in Portland. Yes.
yeah, this one couldn't tell you. All I know is that there was a weird bus station that wasn't like, it was like a weird Portland bus like headquarters building that we were by. Very sketchy. And so we call Patrick because the opener is well into their set at this point. And so we call Patrick. We're like, yo, Patrick, are you up? Like, help, man. We need you to, because we have like such shitty service that we can't pull up maps to figure out where the fuck we are. Like, we can just text and call. Like, our phones are basically like, not supercomputers, as much as I love saying that. And so we call him and we're like, we need you to pull up this bus route and tell us where the fuck we are in relation to the concert venue. We need to get to our show. And he's like, oh yeah, like, I got you guys. We're like, sorry if we're bothering you. He's like, no, man, I'm just watching Caddyshack. he just was like eating a veggie burrito and like watching Caddyshack. And he was like, thanks, man. And then he like helped us get to the show and everything. And we walk in, and the opener has like a song and a half left. And we walk in, she finishes up, and Vince Staples comes on and just crushes. And it was in this weird, I don't even remember the fucking venue. It was just upstairs. It might be the same place I saw a deathcore show. I'm not sure. But very intimate. He was doing, he has a song called Summertime, and everybody in the crowd just had their arms around each other, just like vibing out to this slow song. And yeah, and then everybody was also getting down, but it was like as respectful as like a metal show, which is very, very rare for hip hop shows, I've noticed. So it was very cool. And then just that whole experience of like going to Portland and not eating a local joint, bad move already. Getting Chipotle and then getting lost, hilarious. Having to call your friend in Eugene to basically be like the guy in the van in the movie Heat outside the bank, be like, triangulate my location, please. Thank you. So that was the most memorable for sure. And Vince Staples fucking killed. Like, it was incredible. So
Nice.
Damn. That's fucking sick.
Yeah.
That's like, and I could totally picture it too. Like you're like just in a maze, just running around.
We're like, all right, let's go like a block out, and then we would just end up like, you know, trying to take, and it was.
This happened. It's happened to me.
Yeah.
I barely made the show. I was with my 2 little brothers.
Oh, shit.
Different story for a different time.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. For me, I'd probably say when I went to go see Pretty Lights.
Incredible,
in
I'm sure.
2012. Yeah, dude, the
Where-
light show.
where was that
really,
at?
that was at the Cuthbert.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was at the Cuthbert.
Yeah.
It was like, it was wild, and even some of the songs that they were doing were really good. I forget who the opener was. It was a while ago, and I was also pretty young still, but it was a badass show. Like the light show is nuts, and like most, I feel like house and like dance, EDM, whatever, like their light shows are pretty good, but Pretty Lights were like wild.
Was it a daytime or a nighttime show?
It was a nighttime.
Oh,
yeah, it was a nighttime show.
Even
It was
better.
sweet,
Yeah.
dude. It was fucking sick.
That's
Cool.
sick. I think it's insane. I just went to the Gorge, haven't been to the Cuthbert, but I'm just like, I can imagine. I've never been to the Cuthbert, but I can imagine that was sick. I'm like, it feels so crazy to say. But no, that does. And Pretty Lights, I like their music a lot too. So
Yeah.
it's probably incredible.
You say you've never been to the Cuthbert to see a show?
Never.
We got to make that happen.
I know. I was gonna
Too.
like. I almost went. Didn't A Perfect Circle play there like 2013, 2012 or something?
Not that I'm aware of. I know Tool played at the Holt Center a long time ago.
There was something.
Way long time ago.
There was like a crazy like one of those type of bands that I was gonna go see
Okay.
at the Cuthbert at one point, and it just all.
Oh, Nickelback, right?
Yes, sorry. It was Trapped opening for Nickelback. Actually, Headstrong will take you on, and we'll be right back to take on episode 74's content. It's been Whatchu Spinnin's question segment here for episode 74. Stick around. We love you.
Here's your Nickelback.
Here's your Nickelback. Yeah, I was like him and like Dylan Francis, we were like thoroughly impressed by those. Based off of that same kind of theory of like, oh, haven't listened to him, probably hasn't done much stuff outside of that. And I was like, oh my God. I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, they're all grown up. You know?
There's a Dylan Francis one album that he did, but with like someone else. It's like red with like I think him on it, but it's like whited out and he's got like wings. I think that album's like not bad for Dylan Francis. Like I don't listen to Dylan Francis either, but
he has or used to. He hasn't done anything with it for a while, but he has like a house persona called DJ Hansel that he just does like UK like deep house mixes and stuff.
that might have been. Let me.
He has. It's my favorite. It's probably the YouTube video I've watched the most. He does like an hour, like almost 2 hour long mixing back-to-back set with another DJ called Drezzo. Oh, dude, it's so good. You want to talk about put something on and clean your goddamn house. It's like just consistent, just bang, bang, just drop after drop. And
Oh yeah, DJ Hansel. That's what it is. It's, what's it called? Anti Everything. That one.
yes.
Ooh, cool.
That
album
one's
cover.
actually
I like that.
not bad.
Yeah.
That one's not bad.
I'll send you guys the video. It might have like years ago, but I'll send you guys the link to that set. It's like a back-to-back set of him and Drezzo just trading off on the decks, and it kills.
Fuck yeah. Nice.
Fuck yeah, boys. Well, let's talk about some albums, huh?
Oh yeah, that's what we do.
We
right?
do.
We do talk
do.
about music.
Let's-
Yeah.
Sometimes we like to get a little theoretical with it, though.
You know, talk about our feelings, and we were holding hands, summoning the devil earlier. We didn't put that on film because YouTube won't like that.
They wouldn't. We'd get demonetized.
Yes.
You know. They'd be like, you actually owe us money. But hell yeah, I'm particularly excited to talk about this one. I've been kind of holding it close to the chest for a while. It's a new discovery of mine, so not going to be offended if we don't spend a lot of time on it, but I felt it's worth bringing up, and I've never brought up this genre before. That genre being kind of in the reggae dub almost adjacent category. It's an album from, I believe, 2021. Yep, 2021.
Yes.
Fat Freddy's drop, Wairunga or Wairunga. Music from New Zealand. 7 cool cats making cool tunes for 3 cool dudes to talk about. I'll put a pipe in it for now. But what do y'all think?
Did you find this in like a Spotify roundup, or like did you just come across it randomly?
Was in my office at my old gig and was looking for, I was just in a house mood. And so I was like, I've never looked at like this is house music that Spotify generates. And it was one of those ones that like cycles through. It wasn't a day list or something.
Okay.
And Dig Deep, the last song on this album, popped up. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, this is cool. And then I looked at the album cover and I was like, whoa, this is like a band? What the fuck? And so I went and immediately was intrigued by that. I was like, cool, this is like a deep house band. I love that. Like already obsessed with it. Like already their biggest fan. And then I was like, oh no, this is even cooler. I was like,
Yes.
I was like, this is way cooler. And yeah, stumbled upon the rest of the album, you know, just literally hit play from the top. And I was like, what the hell was that? And I was like, fuck yeah, cool. I'm obsessed with this now. And I discovered it like, middle of April or something. So like right when the weather was like consistently good. And dude, I would just pop this out while I was out in the garage and just sit there with the Gandalf pipe and just
Nice.
sit there and puffaroo and listen to Wairunga and just J chill after work. It's yeah.
Because I remember when you brought this up, like you sent it to us, and then like that's how you know something's good. Is like one of us sends something, and then like 2 weeks later we have the vinyl. Like,
It's true.
Yeah.
so
Or
I was like, okay,
happens
this is
often.
good. Yeah.
Or if someone has taken the time to like scroll back a week and like reply to something, be like, finally got around to this.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah.
You will be questioned on the stand.
So like seeing that, knowing that, I was like, okay, he's gonna bring this up at some point. Cause, and then listening into it, like first listen, man, wow,
Yeah.
it's really good. And yeah, 7-piece band. It's kind of cool that at the same time too, they have a whole lot of like different genres in the album.
Oh,
They
yeah.
have like reggae, they have dub, they have like a little bit of hip hop and real funky also.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's just a mix of everything. And like I was looking back at their previous albums, and I think one of their first ones, based on a true story,
Yeah.
it's like super reggae. Like it's just reggae dub.
100%,
Like that's
yeah.
all it is. So like they kind of I need to listen to more of it, but I can already see like the difference in like them being, because that's kind of what they're known as, like I guess dub and reggae group.
But then to have like something like this where it's got like a little bit of soul.
Yeah,
too.
like
Yeah.
the Memphis soul sound is something I read up on it. They have all those different genres, like you were saying. It's cool to have an album that incorporates that whole thing. And these guys are unique as fuck.
Yeah. And it's technically a live album.
Oh,
That too, yeah. I saw that they had there's a whole set list for it that they do like the whole album.
yeah.
Yeah, so this is, let me read the back of this for you. Right at the top. Recorded live at Mariatara at Wairunga on 16 of March 2021. Wairunga sits high above Waimarama Beach, deep in Kahungu country, an oasis of green pasture and native tree-filled valleys that fall away to the ocean below. Farmed by our great friends, the Parkers, for a century, it's etched into the DNA of Fat Freddy's drop. We visited here for over 20 years to party, relax between tours, even to get married. Our children, who once ran, biked, and then learned to drive around the paddocks, are now coming back for their own parties. Hell, we even wrote a song detailing our adventures here. Pretty sure that's Wairunga Blues. We've talked about playing here for years, and now finally Wairunga has been the venue for this one-off performance. Mother Nature wasn't kind that day. We battled rain and wind, but as we played late into the cold night, we dug deep into the Wairua of this special place to channel unique energy. Bush energy, baby.
Damn, that album just went 10 notches up.
Right?
Damn.
So it's all one live performance. You can find most of it on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And yeah, they're just all
Wow.
in a huge field, just boom, boom, boom.
They're very good at improv too. You know, in the studio and outside, you can tell just listening to music. You're like, wow, these guys, and they go right back into things real fast. Real cool. It'd be cool to see them live too, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like, especially outside venue, nice summer day, and like you said earlier, summer music, man. This
Right?
is the vibe right now. I threw this on, get the Gandalf pipe, like you said,
Yeah.
or whatever. Sounds about right.
Dude, it's
Yeah,
so
dude.
Yes.
I love it. And it's, you know, it also was funny for me because I usually don't. For me to discover something like this, I was like, hell yeah. I was like, I got one. I was like so stoked to bring it up. I was like, I have to wait until I have it on vinyl. Like, it has to be perfect. And I was like, all right, here we go. And yeah, so I'm like so excited to just have this. I've, you know, sometimes I do like to preserve things sometimes, but I collect to spin mainly, and I have spun the dick out of this. I'm like, you know, like we'll do edibles and play Mario Party. I'm like, let's throw on Wairunga real quick.
Oh yeah.
It's like the sunset.
Where'd you get this, dude?
Their website.
Oh, nice.
I went
They still have copies?
Mm-hmm. They should.
Nice.
Yeah, it was like selling out everywhere else. And on Discogs, the pricing is like basically pay one price for the album and then pay that again for shipping, and so it's like astronomical.
Oh, wow.
What you end up paying. But yeah, you do pay from New Zealand. So
Yeah, because I saw like on their Bandcamp, it was like AZ to New Zealand and like other European, but like no like international like coming to US or whatever. And they were all sold out too.
yeah,
But
I think it was
no,
their.
dude.
I think I like looked at their web, like went to Fat Freddy's website or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, dude, this is really good.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing it up for sure. It's
Absolutely.
super like bass heavy and super funky. I was watching a little bit of that video.
Oh yeah.
And it's really cool. They're all like just having fun. Like they're playing, but they're concentrated, but they're just, you know, in the groove.
Oh yeah.
And you hear that too throughout the album. Like, you can hear them just like cracking jokes at the end of a song, you know, and then it goes into the next one. Cause it's all just, they did this all in one go.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. But yeah, man, it's fire. It's so good.
Man. So many cool sounds on this album.
Right.
Yeah, I love it.
And they've got like the guy doing like beat pads and stuff with
Yeah.
it, so that's how they end up like and you know we are, you know, we do talk about collecting and the records and pressing on this. One of my favorite things about it is Dig Deep is one side. There's just
That's always cool when you can get that.
it is the
going.
last side on the pressing because it's a double disc, and so side D is just Dig Deep.
Yes.
And I'm like, fuck yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that's also very fun about it. And yeah, don't you just love the shit like that when you're like listening to one of these playlists that Spotify will make and you're like, oh, let's check this artist out, and then you're like, whatever led you there was just one thing.
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, they're like not that at all. You know, you kind of get a preconceived notion, because I was like, these guys are like different Rufus Du Sol, you know, like they're a band that does EDM house music, you know, weird jungle trance, and I was like, oh no, they're just it's just a reggae
With a
band.
little dubstep on there. Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, I love, you know, I texted both of you guys this morning. I was like, this week's albums are all a bassist wet dream because of the bass lines on them. And yesterday, while the woman was at work, I literally sat down and could not find it tabbed out. Bones, the bass line for Bones. I was like, can't find it anywhere. Randomly, some random dude was like, I'm just going to make a video of me playing my top 10 favorite Fat Freddy's drop bass lines, but I'm not going to tell you how to do it. And I was like, don't care. Fucking play him, fatty. And he started playing them, and I was like, bingo, there's the finger position. And I sat down. I listened to this song. I listened to that song fucking 6 times yesterday trying to figure it out. Dude, it is so fucking
Nice,
fun.
man.
Because it's just like and you kind of mentioned they almost border on like jam band kind of shit.
Yeah.
Because they get instrumental a lot, and then they just go right back into the singing. I love it.
And that song in particular is very
Yeah.
fun for that, because it's just like boop, doo 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 doo, and it's just got a lot of like it's such a blast. So yeah, I love that. And then Shady, great song. Just like
Stop looking at my top threes, dude. You're naming all those.
Dude, I know. Dude, that 3-track run, literally Bones, Shady,
Yeah.
Wairunga Blues,
Yeah,
or even
man.
if you move it one back and you go
Yeah,
Coffee
dude,
Black
it's-
to Shady.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
It's like there's only 8 songs on this goddamn thing, but they're all incredible.
Very well put together album.
Very
Yeah.
much so.
For them doing it live, you know, and improvising and doing all that.
Absolutely. But yeah, fuck yeah. I'm glad that I finally got to bring this up. I'm glad that y'all enjoyed it as much as I did. I honestly don't have that many fun facts outside of what I've already talked about, so I'm down to top 3 it up if y'all are. Honorable mentions for me, I'm going to go Wairunga Blues. Just That one was like an early that was like a late game addition to my honorable mentions. Like as I
Nice.
listened to it earlier, and then Coffee Black, just the repetitiveness of it is its strong suit in my opinion. It just gets me like and then his voice is beautiful on that. Great vocals also. I love him as a singer. Joe Ducky, I believe is his name or something like that. Number 3 for me, Dig Deep. It's the song that led me to it, and it's still amazing. Number 2, Shady, just that intro, and then the songs just trap. It's like that song just starts off one little thing, and then it blooms into this fucking beautiful garden of sound by the end of it. The number 1, Bones. Just that bass line is so infectious. It's just can't not. So yeah, Bones, Shady, and Dig Deep are my top 3.
Good choices. Ready to go for it, Jake?
Yeah, sure. My honorable mention was Bush Telegraph.
Good one.
Dude, that's where I get that reggae vibe. Like that's the one song that you could pinpoint. Like this is dub, this is reggae, and I think it's cool because that kind of segued into their older stuff. That it's like heavily, that same style.
Right.
Number 3 was Wairunga Blues.
Nice.
Love that one. Love a little bit more of the backstory of it too now. Coffee Black.
Hell yeah.
Love that intro too, man. It's so good. And Bones my favorite for sure. I love the bass on that.
Yeah. Imagine me going from Dig Deep and then being like, let's start the album from the beginning, and then that weird long spacey intro to Coffee Black hits.
Yeah.
I was like, hold on.
Now you, like, start
I literally
levitating.
was like, okay, same album. Hold on.
Couldn't tell if we were still recording. I think we paused it.
This is live.
This is live.
This is live.
Somebody's at the door. They don't like what we're talking about. They don't like the Wairunga Blues.
Is this live? This live.
But he don't like
It's
the
a
Wairunga
stick-up.
Blues? Joe Rogan's here. He can come sit
He said
down.
he's doing a podcast. Is this the Are You Garbage House? This isn't the comedy mothership, is it? We're not walking in on Kill Tony. I'm so sorry. Where were we, buddy? I'm so sorry about that.
That was my top
I think
3.
it
What was your last one? I'm sorry.
Bones?
Bones.
Yeah.
Atta
You
baby.
can't like that bass line. Come
No.
on. You cannot.
I mean, shit, you learned it.
I know.
Damn it.
I spent a significant amount of my day yesterday, but then it did lead me down a tinkering with the bass thing, which was probably good because I get to go jam later.
That was
yeah.
my honorable mention, Bones, for sure.
Atta baby.
3, 2, 1, Dig Deep.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it's a great song and kind of capulates the whole album there. Wairunga Blues was the first song that I remember kind of just listening to when I popped the album off. It was like, damn, this is it. This is the one that's reeling me in. And I like Shady as my top pick.
Excellent.
Shady.
Nice.
Shady, love that. Hell yeah. Well, that was Wairunga by Fat Freddy's Drops. Say that 5 times fast. Golly.
Damn it, Freddy.
Released in 2021, which is my pick for this week. This fantastic episode 74 of Whatchu Spinnin. Sorry, pest control guys came to my door.
And he didn't like the Wairunga Blues.
No, he
so-
did not. Now I've got the Wairunga
Yeah,
Blues.
yeah.
So let's go ahead and move into an album that I'll probably be spinning later based off of that fact alone with my buddy Matt's pick for this week. It's Whatchu Spinnin' episode 74. Stick around, fellas. Alrighty. Well, it's time to talk about our second album of the day, one that I am so happy that we get to talk about. Talk about falling back in love with an album for me was this week. I was like, golly, Hell yeah. Matt, what is it? What did you bring up, dude?
I've been wanting to bring it up for a while, but it's kind of a long album. But after your pick with the Grateful Dead album, I said, fuck it. And we're going to do some metal. So we did a live metal album. And this is my favorite album, live metal album. But it's Slayer Live Decade of Aggression from 1991. I think 21 tracks or something like that. Quite a few songs on there.
Mm-hmm.
The first time I heard it was when I was playing, I think, 7th grade baseball and getting on buses and traveling around cities and stuff. And I was into Danzig a lot.
Hell yeah.
And some kid came up and he took my headphones off. He's like, what are you listening to? I'm like, Danzig. He's like, nah. And he put this album on and he put Seasons of the Abyss on. Fucking blew my mind.
Damn.
And so after that, I got the album eventually and kind of became a fan of Slayer and eventually went into their other discography and stuff like this. But this album just kind of resonated because, like I've talked in the past, it's a good outlet for me when I'm upset or even happy. I can go listen to it and feel an emotion, and it's really powerful in that way. So, has a lot of memories for me in that sense, especially with when I first heard it. And that whole, because I still remember it like it was yesterday. And it was a cool way to just kind of branch off from the weird satanic Glenn Danzig era to some like heavy metal, but kind of the same, evil vibe that I was kind of into because I could resonate with that, whether I was rebelling or whatever the case was. Definitely helped getting pumped up for baseball.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
This is like prime Slayer too. Like this is prime when they're like, have Raining Blood, South of Heaven, like all these songs to all be on this, man. Like
I know there's so many on there.
It's so good.
So good.
And I mean, to go off what you were saying, we were about the same age when we were both exposed to this album. I was about 13 years old myself when I first got into Slayer in general, and it was not friend of the show, my other buddy Alex, Big Alex. He had like their entire discography on his iPod, and we would go to like football, like long distance football games, and we would constantly be listening to A Decade of Aggression just because, and I was like, God damn, like this is an insane live album. And the fact that this came out in 1990, what was it, 91?
91, yeah.
Dude, it's like they, like, and this is huge, right? Because at the time, like, Metallica just came out with a Black Album. Megadeth was slowly straying away from what thrash metal was for, almost a decade at that point. And Slayer comes out and puts out a live album to compete with all of that.
Kind of in between all the albums they were already releasing, whether it be Seasons of the Abyss or South of Heaven, things like that.
Yeah, and in the midst of all of that, they're like, here's a live album, and but we're gonna have Rick Rubin fucking produce it, which insane.
Because it sounds like it's from one show,
right?
Yeah,
but it's not.
It's 3 across the globe. Like it's not,
That's
same
the beauty
venue.
behind Rick Rubin. I think got to give him credit for that because I never knew that until I read up on it.
Same, me either. But yeah, just the fucking catalog. You look at this track list on it, and you're like, you mean to fucking tell me that they had been around for barely a decade and they already have these songs are already out and in their catalog, like War Ensemble, The Antichrist, Chemical Warfare, Captor of Sin.
All these songs are like the best songs off the albums that they were doing at that time. And to have that many off of different albums says a lot for a band in their prime, like Jake said, and like for being so early on and to keep going after this, man. What a show that would have been to see.
Oh, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck.
And this is like also, I think, like metal live, especially live metal, not only albums, but shows should be like based off of this. Because this is like, it's just perfect. Like everything is perfect about it. It sounds so good. To sound that good live, it's something that I feel like bands should try to mimic. Because it's that good.
Yeah.
Like it's especially for a rock and metal. Like it sounds so good.
Especially coming out back then too, when the quality of sound wasn't that.
Exactly. Yeah. And also I feel like the definitely also with how it was like set and stage on the songs, like the track list and everything where they put it. And just imagine those shows, man. If that was that's like what's going on around, like.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
And Tom's like, everybody be cool in the mosh pit, man. Help each other out. That's what we're here to do.
It's like,
okay.
Yeah, all right. And then, but you just like hear the opening 2 notes of South of Heaven, and then everybody,
they
freak the fuck out. People died at this show for sure.
Right.
Like, and it's just the fact that they were like, yeah, we're not straying from our formula at all. Like, it fucked the 90s. Like, we're going to start off the year with this, and this is what we still are, you know? And, I mean, it's everybody at their peak. You and I were talking this week. Fucking Jeff Hanneman and Kerry King might be in...
I made like a top 3 list of who I thought would be in that list, and they're definitely there. They're the top.
Oh, yeah.
The top.
Yeah. Easily out of the big 4, you know, Slayer,
Yeah.
Anthrax, Megadeth, Metallica, hands down the best duo out of those
Yes.
4 bands for sure.
Yes.
As much as I love...
Let's say Hammett and...
Hammett and Hetfield, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Like, but I mean, it's... These guys are just
especially when you hear this album, the live, and them playing almost that same riff, like on South of Heaven together, and but they are so different, but they're all
Right.
so in sync. It's amazing.
But then, like, the solo on Die by the Sword, I mean, come the fuck on, dude. Are you, like, just, it's, yeah, literally to just use the cliche, it fucking melts your face off, dude.
To do that night in and night out, you know, remembering those riffs on all those songs.
Oh, my God, yeah.
It's insane.
And to have the big, like, wrist thing with all the spikes off of it.
Yeah, the Kerry King, right? Yeah.
Kerry King, yeah. Fuck yeah.
And even, you know, the song lyrics are pretty dark. Jeff Hanneman wrote most of the song lyrics up until he died, but even as a songwriter, he was great what he did, man.
The content, yeah, it's dark content, but goddamn, could he make something like Angel of Death? Like, to write a song like that is, I mean, all the power to you, but the fact that it's good is incredible. And that, you know, that also comes down to like the instrumentation. I saw one time somebody was like, can Tom Araya even play bass? I'm like, yeah, they wouldn't have him in Slayer if he couldn't at least keep up with those guys.
He's got to do something.
Yeah, like he has to do that and go, wah!
Yeah, Dave Lombardo wouldn't just let him stand up there. Yeah,
no.
And that's in his prime as far as his drumming goes.
Oh, yeah,
you
absolutely.
know, keeping that band all together in sync with Raining Blood and all those songs.
Oh, yeah.
With Hell Awaits, the intro to this album scares the shit out of you with the weird intro, and then it goes right into it and just sets you up for what it's going to be.
Yeah. Just there's like even some good deep cuts, you know, like Hell Awaits, and you know some songs that I feel like probably at the time weren't as big as they are now, like Jesus Saves. I like personally love that song.
Yeah, that song killed.
Yeah.
The like lyrics on it too. He's like super fast.
That was the thing, is like they were like the epitome of thrash metal out of the big 4 of thrash, you know.
Because just a little darker with the songwriting, I guess, right?
Yeah, but the speed aspect was there, you know, and they didn't really stray from that until really ever. But then, like, you know, the mid 2000s, everybody started kind of doing weird stuff.
Yeah.
But like Metallica had far along shit the bed twice over by the time Slayer even strayed from what they founded themselves on.
Yeah.
So shout out to them. I think, in my opinion,
Last Slayer album rules.
oh yeah.
Yeah, Against All Odds, I think is what it's called, or something.
Yeah.
It might be a song off the album, but yeah.
But and they're back together now too. So man, I'm so happy. I was like, I honestly thought it was gonna be Rain and Blood that you brought up, because that's one you have, or do you have Seasons in the Abyss?
I had both.
You have both. I figured it would be one of those.
It was going to be Rain and Blood because that's kind of considered one of the top out of all those that came out, but I felt like this captures the sound of all those albums in one. And there's so many good songs, and I think they're all on that album for sure.
And to kind of like pull something like this and be like I've said, the time frame that this came out and the stuff it was going up against per se was pretty nuts.
There's only a few bands that did it. Like Iron Maiden had a great few that were before this live, but those are another 2, Dave Murray and I'm not sure what the other guy's name is. Great guitar players together. Same thing. You could say they're in the top 3 as well.
Absolutely, I agree.
But for this genre, those guys are the king. No pun intended.
No pun intended. And R.I.P. Jeff Hanneman. Gary Holt's great replacement.
Yeah,
guitarist
exactly.
from Exodus.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. I mean, fuck, man. Yeah, like I sent y'all a video. I was like, South of Heaven and Raining Blood. Learned those on guitar when I was like 14. I was like, just made sure anytime I drop tune my guitar to the E flat, I'm just like, let's see. All right, is it in tune? All right, I can do Rain and Blood. All right, I can do South of Heaven. All right, now let's learn a new song real quick. So,
like, if you've ever played any Guitar Hero, like, Slayer's all over it.
Oh yeah,
Right.
Absolutely. But I've known friends that like have gone to see their shows back in like 2013. Said they were still kicking ass, which you know was one of the times they almost broke up. Was back then. I think it was going to be one of their last tours. They were saying, and they were like, "Nah, they kicked too much ass. They're coming back." Like,
I saw them once in 95, 96 at the Salem Armory.
Oh yeah.
Biohazard opened for him. Machine Head opened for him. So it took forever. And they finally came on stage.
Oh my god, it was good.
Fucking rad. It was rad.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Oh man. I mean, I don't even know. My only complaint, they didn't have the little kid sample at the end of Dead Skin Mask.
I know you're waiting for it.
Yeah. Dead Skin Mask, it's a song about Ed Gein. And at the end on the record, there's like a sample of a kid being like, "Let me out, Mr. Gein. I don't want to be here." The guy that like ate kids' faces and shit. Like, yeah, it's pretty dark.
He didn't eat anybody's faces.
No.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. Shout out House of Thousand Corpses. He has a little cameo in there. Hell yeah.
Well, I'm glad you guys liked it.
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
aggressive. It's good
yeah.
to work out with. It's fun to drive with. For me, it's good to let out whatever you're going through with.
I wasn't kidding when I was like, this Elden Ring boss is kicking my ass, and then I was literally like, fuck this, I'm putting on War Ensemble off of DOA, and literally put it on before the song was even done. I had whooped his ass. Like, I just went in there like,
Yeah.
like just destroyed it. I was like, thanks, Matt. I was like, shout out.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah. But yeah, do we want to top 3 it up or?
Let's do it.
Hell yeah, hit me.
Honorable mention for me is Hell Awaits, just because that scares the shit out of you
Oh,
if
yeah.
you've never listened to Slayer before, and that shows you what you're in for on that album. Number 3, Postmortem. That song is so good. That's on Rain and Blood, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That song, just a good guitar riff in that one. Number 2, Seasons in the Abyss, because it's one of my favorite Slayer songs of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And then you guys brought this up, but Jesus Saves, man, that's the song I share with everybody off this album. I'm just like, that song, just the way it
Oh, yeah.
opens. I don't know if that's Jeff playing or Carrie, but it's badass.
Absolutely. Love it. Honorable mentions for me, Die by the Sword.
Ooh, nice.
The riffs and guitar solo on that,
Nice.
unreal. And this one, I really didn't want to have 3 honorable mentions, but I don't, so I'm just going to agree with you. Postmortem kicks ass. In its place, though, because it's the first Slayer song I ever heard, I have South of Heaven.
Nice.
Just that intro and then his opening lyrics. And I'm so sweet. Yeah, no, just South of Heaven, man. Fuck yeah. Number 3, Mandatory Suicide. Woo-wee! Just that guitar and then the drumming on it. I have a little story I'll tell y'all at some point about that. Number 2, Dead Skin Mask. It had been a long time since I listened to Slayer, but like 4 or 5 years ago, I was working at a junkyard, and someone in a yard car was listening to Slayer, and I was like, "Hey, what fucking song is that? I can't remember the name." And he's like, "Dead Skin Mask," and I was like, "Thank you." And I listened to that song every day for like 2 weeks. And the number 1 for me, Raining Blood. I mean, just
Classic Slayer, that riff.
that ending,
breakdown.
That breakdown. Dude, they invented deathcore basically right there. Just like.
It kept going, yeah.
Oh, dude, I was like, bro, I could listen to that on an hour-long loop. It just makes me. I was literally making a sandwich last night, listening to it at like 11 p.m. and I was just like, and I passed out 15 minutes later. So shout out Rain and Blood.
Nice.
Yes.
Dude, they sound so good too. Those songs sound so good compared to the album. The album, they sound badass too. But honorable mention, Blood Red. Really like that song.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Kind of it gets overshadowed, I feel like, by some of the other songs, but pretty good addition to the second disc. Number 3, Dead Skin Mask. That song's badass. Number 2, War Ensemble. Yeah, same thing. I could see like I could fight like just a mob of whatever.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
like I'm winning, or I could lift a fucking car.
Yeah.
And then my favorite, Jesus Saves. For sure, that's a crazy ass guitar, dude.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy ass guitar too. But
The album version of Blood Red is great.
oh fuck yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot better.
Same with Dead Skin Mask, just for that sample.
Yeah.
I'll send a link to that one. Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, there it is, Slayer.
Decade of fucking aggression,
There
man.
it was gonna be called Decade of Decadence, but Motley Crue, I guess, stole the title or was gonna sue about it because they had all their stuff and they're cooler or whatever.
Yeah.
And Slayer was like, whatever, I don't care.
That album stinks. And shout out
Yeah.
Slayer, because there's not many metal live albums that are actually worth anything. You kind of said
There's
that.
not. There's a
It's-
handful, unless you're like a hardcore and be like, no, actually, Scorpions '93 kicks ass. I mean,
I'm sure it does, Jimothy. I'm sure it does. But around here we love Slayer's Decade of Aggression, released in 1991, which was Matt's pick for this week. Beautiful episode 74 so far here at Whatchu Spinnin. Let's go ahead and tone it down a little bit and get the hell out of America and talk about something from across the pond with Jake's pick for this week. We'll be right back. It's Whatchu Spinnin, episode 74. Jesus fucking Christ.
Jesus saves.
I'm gonna
Jeez.
have a hear me out after we're done recording. By the way,
Hey, I don't want to hear anything from you.
quick-
Okay.
What about right now?
I don't want to. Yeah. Why don't you do it right
okay,
now? Bring it up.
I'll hear you out.
Bring it
Hear
up
me out.
now.
What if? Because Matt, you brought this up when I said.
Oh, now it's my fault.
No. It's okay. Hey, don't get. Hey, it's okay. I'm a friend.
We're just trying to keep it interesting, folks.
I'm a friend. I'm a friend. You're
Fish are friends.
You're like an animal in a cage.
Who else is here?
Friend. No, you, when I said let's do all female artists for episode 75, you suggested let's do all Japanese artists. What if episode 80 we do a quick turnaround? Because we've kind of done these unintentional. We all do the same kind of thing a couple of times. What if episode 80 we just do Japanese albums?
Okay.
That'd be cool.
I'm down with that.
Down.
It's not like a huge like you know, but like I just think we've brought up some good Japanese stuff.
Yeah.
Or I haven't yet, but I have one that I would love to. And I mean,
Yes.
fuck it. And it's all like I feel like that's good summary stuff. And like by the time 80 hits, we'll be like kind of toward the end. I think probably toward the end of summer, maybe.
And who knows? Maybe you'll discover somebody else.
Maybe.
Be like, boom.
Exactly. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
We can. I just want to put that in your ears.
Soundtracks too. You know.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So many options.
There's so much good stuff.
I mean,
like
the
on the other half of
possibilities
the
are endless
world.
on the show, folks.
It's
Keep
wild.
watching. If
Maybe
you want to see
soundtracks?
something on here, tell us.
What do you mean?
If you want us to review Taylor Swift, we won't.
We won't.
Nice try. All right. But in the meantime, it's time to wrap this bad boy up like a burrito and send it on down the line. It's time for the third and final pick of this week, which goes to my main man, Jake. Felix, please stop talking. What you got, Jake?
Yeah, it's the album's called Funky Stuff by Jiro Inagaki and his Soul Media. Came out in 1975. Yeah, it's called Funky Stuff for a reason. It's
Oh,
real
yeah.
funky.
It's got the funk.
It's like funk jazz fusion group coming out in Japan. They fucking kill. It's so good. I think it's like, especially in Japan, I feel like it has to be like perfect. Like
Yeah.
they, you know, like people like a lot live their life like that. Like they do everything with meaning, and this is like one of the craziest for like jazz. Like it's so perfect. Like there's nothing wrong with it in my opinion. I can go into it. There's a lot of quotes. There's interviews that the guy was doing for this. It was really interesting. I'll bring up some points, but I'll shut up for a bit. What'd you guys think about it?
I'll be the one to ask it just real quick. How'd you find this? This is because it's an interesting one to me, you know, because it reminds me a lot of this just without vocals, and so I'm like, I wonder how the fuck you found this.
Mm-hmm. Well, I found this because I brought up Wajaz, that compilation album, a while ago. I forget what episode it was, but Breeze was on that compilation album. And then I really like. I really like.
I learned that
Breeze.
this morning. I was like, oh, it was on that album? I don't remember that.
Yeah,
I won't say anything. I'll see if Jake brings it up.
yeah.
Jake brings it right up.
I'm glad you brought it up because that's how I first stumbled upon it. So I was like, okay, like let me look more into this artist, and yeah,
Right on. I love that, and it just doesn't stray from that. You know, Breeze is kind of kind of the mood of the whole thing. It starts off with Painted Paradise, and you're like, wait, this came out in when?
Yeah.
In 1970. What? I'm sorry. Hold on. And it's just like that thumping bass, like the bass throughout it is nuts. He's an insane saxophone player, but my God, did he surround himself with like just top class
dude.
fucking musicians, because everybody kills it on this. There's Painted Paradise has a drum solo in it. Awesome. Never happens. And then just bass throughout it was the one thing that caught my ear. And yeah, man, thanks for finally bringing it up. I'm glad that you got it, because as I said when you brought it up, I was like, this has been in his want list since I met you. Like
yeah,
3 years
it's been a
ago.
while.
Yeah, there's lots of bass. I thought it kind of had that weird Another Green World start off. Like it just felt like one of those albums because it's so different and ambient. It came out in that time, and so it drew me in right away. And I'm like, what's going on with this bass song? It's just the bass.
No,
And then it just went on from there, and then it mixed it up on the next track, and back and forth and back and forth. And he'd been doing it for a long time in Tokyo. Guy was born in 1930. I think he did it up until he was 90.
I mean,
But I think back in the late 60s, he moved to the U.S. and like became more of like, oh shit, let's be a little bit more improv. He was so like fundamentalist there in Tokyo with Columbia, and now he was able to do it here in the United States. And this guy's got a catalog vast and like a vast catalog, and like this album in particular is just so unique, and it's kind of cool to see what else he has out there and listen to. But I was impressed, and I like that it's pink, the vinyl. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's one of those. It's one of those that you get lost in, you know, because it does have it. You don't realize it's a sneaky jazz fusion kind of, you know, because you get so kind of hooked into one thing, and then by the time you kind of clue back in, you've traveled a couple of songs at that point. So it does almost, and I mean, there's no words to it, so it kind of does like lend itself to jam band ability almost. You know, you're like, oh, this is just like even
it has that feel of the 70s, like the mid 70s and on. It has that whole like that, whether it's a different country or not, or
fur collars and platform boots with bell bottoms, like it just oozes that kind of swagger to it. Yeah, it's like it's just the protagonist walking down the street. Yeah. Like Matt and I hadn't even started doing mouth bass yet, and Matt and I both just started bopping because we're thinking of the songs on the album.
Yeah, like it has like a lounge singer style kind of vibe.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, very much.
Gentle Wave had that one. Where I'm like, yeah, man, where's the band? Where's the band? Where's the bar?
Yeah.
Where's the skinny cigarette holders, you know?
Yeah.
They're really long. It's
love it. That mood those songs created was very fun. You know, I love that.
Funky motion too. It has like it starts off just like as a couple little like bass flicks here and there, and then it just at the end just cuts into like a high speed chase like in the 70s, like that you see, or like a spy movie or whatever. Like yeah, man, it's so unique and so cool that they were doing this. And even like the rest of his catalog too, like you mentioned, there's a lot of really good stuff, and there's a lot of stuff that's like also like not on streaming that he was kind of just did like solo projects on his own, because he'd been doing music for a long time. One of the cool things that I saw in an interview that was interesting, he like quoted that he said he wanted to have a take on like Western jazz and funk.
Okay.
So when he made this, like he was quoted saying, "I did black funk," which he was kind of saying like he did like, you know, more funkier, jazzy, soulful feel to it. Like the first half of the album, like with Painted Paradise, Funky Motion, and then Breathe, like that first A side is like perfect. And then you have songs like Funky Stuff, which is a play off of Kool and the Gang, of Funky Stuff, and it's almost better than the original, dude. It's
pretty good.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's good.
A little bit. It does. I didn't even catch that until you said it. I'm like, that is that, huh?
Yeah, it's a Kool and the Gang cover.
I love that. And I did kind of like how, you know, you said it, the second half of the record really started to kind of shift away mainly from like that city pop jazz fusion kind of stuff, like one for Eero, like that's just mainly sax and stuff, and then Gentle Wave, very much woman on the piano, on the top of the grand piano, lounge singer kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But fantastic. I'm so glad that you got to bring this up finally. Scratch, also great song.
That was a good track.
As well. Again, last night listening to this, I was like, is there by any chance any bass tabs of this? And there are, and the only ones are Painted Paradise and Scratch, I found. So shout out those earwormed enough people to where somebody figured out how to play it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
You could probably learn Funky Motion pretty easily.
Probably. Yeah. It seems about the same.
Yeah. But no, I'm glad you guys liked it. This is kind of another like wormhole that I just dug into, like bringing up wah jazz. I just even now I'll look at like, oh, this song is good. Let me look at the artist in that, and it just opens up like their whole catalog and like a whole subgenre of like jazz and stuff. So, but yeah, if you guys don't have anything else, we can go in a top 3.
Yeah, I just wasn't able to find much else on it.
There isn't a whole lot. Yeah,
he was doing music for a long ass time.
That was the only thing that I could find. Yeah, was that
now knowing that, it'd be fun to dive into that discography and be like, what else did this guy do?
Yeah, if anybody does that and finds anything, let me know. That'd be interesting.
Oh, we will.
Oh, we will. But that was Jiro Inagaki's and his Soul Media's Funky Stuff, released in 1975, correct?
Correct, yes.
Hell yeah, we love the year 1975 around here. But that was Jake's pick for this episode.
Oh, we're getting top threes?
Are we?
Are we?
Yeah, let's hit top threes. My bad.
I was kind of rounding up, letting you know that we were talking about
Tying
that
it up.
album. Okay,
Yeah.
let's go back in the top
Let's
three.
top three it up.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What you got, Jake?
Top three. Honorable mention. I'm gonna go Breeze. Love that song. First song that got me into the artist. Number 3, Gentle Wave. That's where you really hear like his sax. You know, because he played tenor and alto and the flute also. He's like a really good flute player. Number 2, Funky Motion, and then my favorite was Scratch.
Nice. For me, honorable mention was Funky Motion, because I'm just like, what the hell's going on in the song? I love it. Number 3, be Scratch. Number 2 for that loungy style Gentle Wave, and then my top song, Breeze. Man, just capulates the whole album.
Hell yeah.
Boom.
Hell yeah.
What you got?
Honorable mentions were Scratch. As I kind of mentioned, just love that one. It might as well have had some scratch on it. It felt very like sampleable also. The last track on the album was my other honorable mention, 4 Up. Don't know why, I just had it was kind of a nice like again, way to land the plane, I feel like. And I didn't want it to be over, but I felt like that was a good way to kind of put a bow on it. And then number 3 for me, Gentle Wave. Kind of liked the keys on that, weird little switch up in the energy of it. It kind of does that in that second half, shifts from being very bass influenced to more, winds and piano kind of. So I liked Gentle Wave for that. And then number 2, Painted Paradise. What a way to start off. And then that doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo. And then Funky Motion. I mean, it's basically a bass solo the whole time. And, I love me some of that. So Funky Motion was my favorite. It reminded me of some like early Jocko solo stuff that he was doing.
Yeah.
So I was like, there's a certain song, I can't remember the name of it, but it starts off very similar. And so I really liked that. So Funky Motion was mine. But yeah, that's it, right? That's all top threes?
That's it, baby.
That's it for everybody. Okay. Jiro Inagaki and his Soul Media Funky Stuff, released in 1975. That was Jake's pick for this week. Those were actually top threes. Sorry for trying to close that baby off early. But anyway, let's go ahead and let y'all know what's coming next week for episode 75, the women's edition of Whatchu Spinnin. We'll be right back to introduce some great albums to you. In that sense, be right back. Yeah, I am an astro creep. Speaking of 1995, it's time to move right along and tell you what's coming next week, and that'll make sense here in about 2.2 seconds. So if you stuck around to the end of last episode, you know that we are doing another theme episode for episode 75, and we're doing all 3 albums will be done by women artists. Kind of just going to give a nod to that. We as men, we realize, sometimes we kind of don't bring that shit up. But there are some fucking fantastic female artists out there. Whether, we've covered a lot of them. Lauryn Hill, Erykah Badu, Laura Lee from Khruangbin, very talented. There's some that we haven't that, we'll give a nod to in about
Fever
2 weeks'
Ray.
time.
Fever
Ray,
Ray.
yes. Fever Ray. There's one, Joyce Rice.
Joyce Rice, yeah.
We love women.
SZA.
Wise Blood, SZA, so many.
So many. And we'll when we bring these up, there's some others that I'm sure that we were thinking of that will kind of be like, instead of bringing up that, I ended up bringing up this.
Yeah.
Which I would like to do. But anyway,
Okay.
we go in the order that we talked to, we go in the order that we talked in, no matter whether it's a special episode or not, which means I'm going first. And yeah, 1995, let's go right back to it with Bjork's Post. I believe it was her second album. Again, released in 1995. Who would have thought that it was a little more on the industrial side? I'm super excited to talk about it.
Great album. Great
Fucking
pick.
great.
Yeah.
Fucking great.
I've been trying to stay more positive in my music selection over the last 3 weeks or so. So I changed my mind mid-morning on my morning walk and decided to go with 1996 Boys for Pele by Tori Amos.
Yes.
Because she is a little sad, but she's a little bit more positive, and I love the piano. So, 1996 Boys for Pele.
I was really hoping that we would get Bjork and Tori on the same one. Give me some. I was like, Matt. I was doing a bald mind meld this morning. I was like, bring up Tori. Do it. Fuck yeah.
It works.
What you got, Jake?
Nice. I'm gonna go something a little bit newer. 2018, Summer Walker,
Ooh.
and it is Last Day of Summer.
Okay.
Or is it Last Night? Last Day of Summer.
Ooh.
I know that. I've listened to this album.
Okay.
Are you sure?
I think.
Hey, even if you haven't, it's all good. We'll all learn about it together. Hell
Nice.
yes.
That's right.
Good picks, guys.
Good picks. That'll be fun. 1995, 1996, and then 2018. Jump forward a handful of years.
Jumping way forward.
I like it.
I like it a lot. That'll be super fun. But, hey, you know what else was fun? Talking about Slayer. Talking about Fat Freddy's Drop. Talking about some fucking Jiro Inagaki. All that stuff was a blast. And we hope that you had fun as well. Go ahead and let somebody know. Send them a link to us on Spotify. Send them a link to our YouTube, us on Apple Podcasts. Anywhere, really. We've got an RSS feed for a freaking reason. But also share music with somebody. If you think someone would like a song, you never know. Just fucking send it to them. I did it last night, and now I'm going to jam with somebody, so I don't know what the fuck.
What?
Yeah. Just be a friend. Tell a friend about the show. Follow us on Instagram at Whatchu Spinnin. Follow me at Dorian Dilly doing weekly album walls and just general music kind of review stuff. Follow me on Twitch at Balakay Dordles. Still playing through the Devil May Cry series. It's getting a little spooky.
I'm scared. I'm really scared for him.
And yeah. Anything else?
Call your mom.
Call your mom.
Jeez, she's
Tell
been
them, say
waiting.
hey.
She's been waiting. Yeah. Get outside, eat some new food, listen to some new music, share this podcast, and yeah, make sure you stay hydrated. Feed yourself. Peace out, y'all. Take it easy.